Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome once again to another special live stream. This is, as always, the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you, and we are live for once again another one of my best of the best and also special live streams of the week as we are rounding out the final 72 hours of 2018 as we are going to tonight, well, this morning, because this is past midnight course here, we are going to talk about the top 10 WWE male and female, or as I try to put it in the title out of respect, men and women wrestlers of 2018. I do apologize as I was planning on doing a stream Thursday afternoon. Unfortunately, though, again, with, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but again, it's just been a busy holiday with just a lot of plans and whatnot, a lot of other stuff I've had to, deal with. So unfortunately, I didn't have enough time on Thursday before work and before I, spent the night at a family member's house last night to do that stream. So I had to delay it until tonight. Now, of course, I'll get at the end of this video of the schedule reminder again of what's going to happen for the rest of the year as we are into the final 72 hours of 2018. Still hard to believe this year is just about to end. But of course, I'm wearing my championship. So we're going to talk about just the best. We're not going to do the worst. We're going to do just 2 top 10 lists tonight for the best men and women wrestlers of 2018. We're going to try this a little bit different, though. I'm not going to just, read, the men's list from 10 to 1, the women's 10 to 1. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up, talk about 10 to 8 from both from the male, then 10 to 8 from the female side as well. I think I'll start with the women's wrestlers first from 10 to 8 because I feel like my women's list is a little bit weaker. Because, of course, this is a list, of course, just of WWE wrestlers from WWE, NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live. Well, there's no women on 205 Live besides Maria Kanellis, but and several others as well that we could definitely talk about on this list. And when I talk about wrestlers, of course, it's just lots of people who do high fly and flips, but no, the people that I feel in 2018 did the best job telling stories, inside the ring, where they had the greatest personal ability or the more so of the mind games and whatnot, how they succeed in their stories and whatnot. That's the goal I was looking for when I put together these 2 top 10 lists for male and female superstars of the year for 2018. But of course, as always, let's check the live chat. And I don't expect this one to be as long. I think this one will probably be about an hour. I mean, if it goes longer, goes longer. But I think this is going to be a little bit shorter stream. But let's see who we've got in the live chat. We've got T and Coupon on this list. What is going on? What's going on, my friend? He says, I like to stream. How is everybody doing tonight? Not too bad. Again, just spend some time with family the past couple of days as, we're winding down the end of the year. And, of course, the holiday season is still going on. So, to me, the holidays don't end right away for me because that's just my thing. We got Robbie saying, you had to say it. But I'll say it for you, Robbie, as he says in the live chat. I'll get the mic of Mike, as Larry would call it. You bomb me with one more can, kid, and I'll snap off your cojones and boil that motor oil. Sorry, just getting over a little cold, but I'm fine. But just for you, Robbie. And yes, hashtag please sign Robbie. And what's going on? Mark got him in live chat and say that best is Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch so far for his best, which I think are great starts for your list for sure. But I will get into this, because I like to get another good night rest. Again, I was just getting over a cold over the past couple of days. But again, I'm feeling a lot better, of course, today. I always get that. A couple of Christmas, I always get a cold and whatnot. But, I feel a lot better today. And I, just spent the night at my cousin's last night, so I'm feeling pretty good. But so again, I will go through these 2 top 10 lists. But again, I want to do this a little bit differently this time because I want to literally talk about the 2 very best at the end. So I'm going to do 10 to 8 from the women first, then 10 to 8 for the men, and then 7 to 5, same route, and then 4 to 2, and then each of my number ones will be listed last. So I'm going to try that different for some, just for a change. So we will see what happens. And yes, Robbie, I can't wait till Sunday as well. Again, I got my list ready. We are gonna rock that stream on Dan's channel on Sunday. I look forward to definitely doing that. And hopefully, you'll be able to hear me, since the last couple of times we tried doing streams, for some reason I was not able to hear you. I could hear you, but you could not hear me. So hopefully that will be fixed come Sunday. So yeah, let's get it on and let's get into these lists. So again, we're gonna start off with numbers 10 to 8 from the women, and then 10 to 8 from the men for my top 10 list. Now, keep in mind, this list is not easy to make. It's like I'm doing WWE and NXT stars. There were not a lot of women this year that I felt were utilized that good. I mean, mainly on the main roster. In NXT, they were built to, what they needed, where they needed to be. I felt, but they were interesting, but not everyone was like, this is one of the best superstars of the year, pretty much. No. So I think I put together, for the most part, a pretty solid list for both these guys. My women's list, I feel, was a little bit weaker, but we'll see what you guys can be the judge for. So let's get started with number 10 from the women's list. My number 10, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, I first saw in the 2017 Mae Young Classic. Was young, about in her early 20s, and I thought she put on, a solid performance. She did not get too far, though, I don't think, in the first Mae Young Classic. It's just in the second round, I believe it was, but she showed she had a lot of potential. This year, she came back, and I could tell that the WWE had serious plans for her, because she kind of changed her look. She established more of a character, being more so like, okay, this is my second opportunity at this. I'm not going to let it, slip past me this time, pretty much thing. So I knew the WWE had serious plans for her, and she had a pretty good performance, gotta say, in the second Mae Young Classic. Of course, she probably got a lot of heat off of the match with Tegan Nox when Tegan Nox suffered an injury, which started to wonder, when Tegan Nox is healthy again, will she be the one to maybe dethrone her from the NXT UK Women's title? Get a little ahead of myself, though. She got to the Final Four as she lost to Io Shirai. And then she goes to NXT UK. She wins the NXT UK Women's Championship tournament, becoming the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. She just recently had 2 matches to defend the title. First one with Isla Dawn. The second one was this past week to Deonna Purrazzo. So I got to say, one of the more upcoming stars, I got to say. But on this list, because I felt like she was somebody that the WWE invested in this year, going from, just someone in the Mae Young Classic last year to, already, bringing her back and establishing a character with her as well. In the ring, she's a bigger woman, but she's a great wrestler, has a great talent. She's only 22 years old also. And I just see a lot of great things to come down the line from her. And I think the WWE put her off to a great start this year. Putting the title on her, like having her, of course, go over, the winner of the Mae Young Classic and Toni Storm, who, I like to see Toni Storm in NXT UK be a champion someday. But, like, Toni Storm is at a point where it's like, she could be champion, but putting over someone else at this time wouldn't hurt her either. Because I feel like, she was someone who got put up even higher on the pedestal with her performances in the Mae Young Classic this year, especially one match in particular. But we'll talk about that a little bit later, because she may be on this list as well. Wink, wink. But yeah, I've been really impressed with Rhea Ripley, and I thought she was great in the 2017 Mae Young Classic. This year's Mae Young Classic as well, she did, of course, even better, established more of a character, more of a heel persona, like, hey, I'm not letting my opportunities slip up, more about having more of a cockier attitude and whatnot. So yeah, I gotta give her credit and give her number 10 on my list for best women's wrestlers of 2018. My number 9, Alexa Bliss. Now, I know, and I agree. I've always, appreciated Alexa Bliss as a talent. I do agree, though, that she has been a little bit overpushed. And I will still say I feel she is definitely already a little bit on the overrated side, in my opinion. But again, as I said before, this list is going to feature some women on this list who you might be scratching your head at. I mean, I couldn't put Asuka on this list because of, the bad booking she received for, a good portion of this year. And it was like a full. Alexa Bliss, though, even though she was a little bit overpushed, didn't always put on the greatest matches, still don't respect the fact that she still, in my opinion, is great on a microphone. She can cut a good promo, of course, when given the right material to work with, not just her stupid open forums that she has her do, which is just awful. I'm sorry, but those open forum segments has been absolutely awful. Some of the worst of the year. Is why they were in my top 10 worst segments list. But she spent the beginning of the year as Raw Women's Champion. She retained inside the Elimination Chamber, and not a bad Women's Elimination Chamber match at all, I gotta say. And she didn't look like a weak Howard heel in the match. I thought she had her moments as well. Of course, she dropped the title to Nia Jax. Didn't have a great feud with Nia. Won Money in the Bank. Got back on track there. But she got the she got the title back, which again, I'll be honest, was still a little too early, I felt, but to put the title back on her. She had her feud with Ronda Rousey. Sorry, I just literally swallowed. I think that singing that kind of aggravated my cough a little bit. But she had a feud with Ronda Rousey. She put Ronda over. Could have been better and whatnot. Alexa Bliss is the type of person, she can be better. But yeah, obviously, I felt she at least deserved to be on this list, towards the bottom of it, of course. Sorry. But again, she's had some down moments. Like her feud with Nia Jax was meh. I mean, most of her performance here was kind of meh, but she did display some results. And it was more than we got from Sasha Banks or Bayley. Yes, again, Asuka became champion at the end of the year. She was undefeated until WrestleMania, but again, the booking for her was just terrible. Alexa Bliss, I would say, was completely awful. Some of it was what it was. But I still think, that she was good enough with the lack of depth of the women's rosters, on the main roster especially, to make this list, which is why she's my number 9 on this top 10 list. So my number 9 for the women is Alexa Bliss. Number 8, Bianca Belair. Miss, I am undefeated. Got it? Undefeated. Bianca Belair came into this year with some momentum. She was a part of the Mae Young Classic as well in 2017. I thought she had a good performance, and she showed a lot of potential. Of course, what always stands out to me about Bianca Belair is her hair whip as well. That's the fact that she's been able at times to use that as a weapon. And the thing is, though, is whenever she's used that, it's over. It is over. That's kind of the turning point where everything seems to be falling into her place for the most part. And I'll put it this way. She is ready to contend for the NXT Women's Championship. To contend, as I say. Excuse me. Do I think she's ready to win it yet? Not quite. And here's why. Bianca Belair is a heel. But to me, all she has done is show up for her matches, put on solid performances, and she's won them, making her undefeated. Undefeated. Before becoming champion, I feel like her character needs a little bit spiced up, something else to make her a little more interesting. Because, look at Bianca Belair. Is she a great athlete? Of course, she's a great athlete. She's no Asuka, though. She's not really a Charlotte yet. She's her own self. She's Bianca Belair. But, besides having a little bit more cocky attitude, character-wise, besides just she shows up and wins matches against, qualified superstars, such as, Candice LeRae or Mia Yim. I don't think she got to beat she beat Nikki Cross yet. She's had, of course, won the Fatal 4 in the solid performance this past week as well also. But I feel like, there's something they need to dig a little bit deeper with her, I still feel, before they put the title on her. And I know she's getting a match with, Shayna Baszler, but because honestly, the way it get booked right now, it's yeah, she's cocky, but she's won matches, but she hasn't really done much, real heel tactics to cheat to win. maybe, of course, they're trying to, make it look like she's dominating during, which it is. And then, like, when that time comes, and she'll pull, like, an Asuka and kind of, take a warrior during tactic and win matches. But I still think she was one of the better wrestlers of 2018. Again, in the ring, she's great. She has great athleticism, just a great style and whatnot, and a good, things in her repertoire. And of course, my favorite thing is the hair whip. The character, I feel, needs to get a little bit more interesting. Because again, so far I've seen someone who's showed up for over a year and just won matches. Like, I feel like, there's something else that needs to, be put there. Some other story needs to be put into her character, I feel, in some ways. But I still can't take away the fact that, she's undefeated. And again, she's ready to contend for the championship. I don't know if, since she's feuding with Shayna Baszler, if it's, kind of like a heel-on-heel match, or if I put my predictions as, they could make it a triple threat, since it seems like there's still some unfinished business with her and Kairi Sane, maybe. I still think, she's going to get the title right away in 2019. But I do think, again, give her credit, the fact that she remained undefeated throughout all of her matches in 2018. I definitely think she will be a big star, even bigger star in 2019. Maybe up to the main roster by 2020. I'll have to wait and see. But still, my number 8 for the women is Bianca Belair. And of course, now, as I said before, we'll do this a little different. We'll do 10 to 8 now from the men on this list. Now I'll check the live chat. So let's go from numbers 10 to 8 for the men's superstars of wrestlers of the year. Number 10, Randy Orton. So Randy Orton started off this year still in the kind of like that bland babyface run that he had in 2017 after he turned on Bray Wyatt. And all respect to Randy Orton, as I constantly said, he's definitely, a future Hall of Famer. He definitely has legend status on him. And he can put on good performances as a babyface. However, though, when I look at babyfaces, again, WWE cannot book too many purebred babyfaces anymore. A lot of like these characters that wrestlers seem to possess that already that could work for both heel or face seem to work better when it's a heel character developed and it can be transitioned onto a babyface character as well. It's just, do the same thing except to the bad guys, pretty much, if you know what I mean. And cheered for it. Well, Randy Orton, I feel like, is that guy who can do that, but I feel like, it doesn't have as much mileage as a babyface. As a heel, I feel he is in his element. So the year started off with him being in the Royal Rumble. He was getting a little more serious about, his opportunities and whatnot. Had the feud with Bobby Roode, was face on face. Won the U.S. title, but it was just completely forgettable. He drops the U.S. title to Jinder Mahal WrestleMania, and then Jeff Hardy gets the U.S. title, so Orton feuds with Hardy for Backlash. Average match. He goes away for a little bit with a knee injury, comes back at Extreme Rules. He turns heel. And here's just where I think, Randy Orton just got back into his, his groove. Randy Orton as a heel this year had been doing things that you wouldn't expect. Like you couldn't sit there and say, oh, you're just going to, punch him around and just throw him to a table. No, he would like pull something else out of his sleeve, such as pulling on the ear gauge of a Jeff Hardy, or even using a screwdriver on him as well, or putting one of Ty Dillinger's fingers, into, the ring post. He attacked, Rey Mysterio in different ways. That was, cringeworthy, but a good cringeworthy. And the thing was that he didn't always, some people, Jeff Hardy, he constantly went after the ear, but like with Rey Mysterio, at first he targeted the mask, wasn't enough to keep Rey away. He targeted the neck, of course, for the steel chairs match. It was just, the whole, mask collective we were getting with TJP when it was a house party. We've seen, people go after a luchador's mask how many times. He still presented something different every week with his feuds. And it just shows you that Randy Orton is truly in his element as a heel. And yes, I'm pretty sure, at some point, I would rather have him be a heel the rest of his career, honestly, because again, I really feel that's more of his element. But again, they turned him face, so it's probably because, his character is getting over. But then again, I feel it doesn't have as much mileage as if, Chris Jericho's heel character turns into a baby face. I feel like that could, get over for quite a while. Daniel Bryan, I'm pretty sure, with him being the heel now, that, he's going to, eventually, get his character so over because he's charismatic and likable that, he's going to be a baby face by the end of 2019, I believe. So Randy Orton, again, had a lot great performances in the second half of the year, especially. Not bad stuff in the first half, still, but, some, low points definitely. But in my opinion, a much better year than he had in 2017. Of course, he was stuck in the whole Jinder Mahal crap then, but, I still give him credit, and that's why he is my number 10 for the men's superstars of the year. Number 9, Daniel Bryan. Now, this one is an overrated pick, I know, to some people. I feel, some people might say that Daniel Bryan was not booked as, like, the biggest star for the year until, like, towards the end of the year. He got back to the main event scene and took the title from AJ Styles and turned heel in a shocking fashion that I did not see coming, but it was quite a swerve, I gotta say. But why am I on this list? Well, look at the story. At the beginning of the year, it was obvious that it was do or die this year for Daniel Bryan at WWE. If he was not going to get the opportunities, he planned on leaving. When his contract expired on September 1st, probably going back to New Japan or the Independents and whatnot. But of course, WWE knew that if he went somewhere else, they'd be doomed. And Daniel Bryan, at the time was saying he was pitching ideas. Okay, have a storyline going in case something happens. I do get cleared. He does. He got a tag match at WrestleMania. Himself and Shane McMahon taking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which is a solid tag match. Just tell a simple story of Daniel Bryan getting back in the ring. He feuded with Big Cass, which should have been better, but Cass's backstage politics, got away with that. Bryan beat him both times, but it didn't really do much for them other than just giving Bryan some experience back in the ring. He briefly reunited with Kane for Team Hell No, which was what it was. And then, of course, he feuded with The Miz, which, wasn't bad, but I felt like, they were just getting to the point where the feud could definitely, go a whole different direction before he gets inserted into the title scene, and which I thought, again, was just, pull Miz into the title scene as well to give him the titles. I thought by the end of this year, we were going to be seeing The Miz as champion. I was pretty convinced once the feud with Miz and Daniel Bryan started. But so the story of Bryan getting back, was just one of the best stories of the year. And again, I was saying that, I just didn't think they were going to throw him back into the main event scene feud for the WWE title right away. Until, of course, later on in the year when he was supposed to face Styles at Crown Jewel, but then he didn't want to go, so they had the match on SmackDown instead. But then out of the blue for Survivor Series, he pretty much, gets in Styles' face and they end up having a match in the main event, the go show for Survivor Series, and then with a low blow, with Daniel Bryan's dreams taken over, he turns heel and wins a title and attacks AJ Styles. Almost beats Brock Lesnar in Survivor Series, but it was the match that completely beat the old Daniel Bryan out of the new Daniel Bryan. And now Bryan's like some, psycho environmentalist who is just spitting fire with his promos, putting on solid performances in the ring. He got back. He got what he wanted. One of the 2 titles he never lost. Again, the WWE Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, he hasn't had a match that yet. Of course, that's a Raw, but he's back on top where he wants to be. And did it happen the way we thought it would happen? No, it didn't. But he still made it work. And he's been a great champion so far, I gotta say. So number 9 on my list for top 10 men's wrestlers of the year is Daniel Bryan. Number 8, Aleister Black. So when Aleister Black was breakout star of the year and men's superstar of the year for NXT in 17, I knew breakout star for sure. But for overall men's superstar of the year, I thought It's great, but I feel he has a lot more to offer on the table, and we're going to get that in 2018. And I felt that's what exactly happened to Aleister Black this year. Opening the year with a feud with Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era, leading to a great Extreme Rules match between those two at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, to him winning the NXT Championship from Andrade Cien Almas at TakeOver New Orleans. The feud with Lars Sullivan, of course, the storytelling there was great. Simple, but it was like simple to the point. With Aleister, obviously, starting to get doubt that he's able to hit the black mass on Lars Sullivan and knock him off, but he eventually did, even though the first one was botched in the match they had. And then, of course, he got into the midst of the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa feud, which was ready to be, the headliner of the show, even though it already had been the moment Tommaso Ciampa returned. So Aleister dropped the title to Ciampa in late July, thanks to Johnny Gargano getting involved in the match and accidentally hitting Aleister in the face with this. So Ciampa won. It was supposed to set up a triple threat match for TakeOver Brooklyn, but then Aleister had to have groin surgery a few weeks beforehand, causing him to miss the TakeOver. But instead, they covered up with a storyline that somebody had attacked Aleister Black to write him off of the show. We eventually found out that was Johnny Gargano, and Aleister had already had some beef with Johnny for costing him his championship. But obviously, this is the point where Aleister had just gotten in the way of what was going on with Ciampa and Gargano, as Gargano refused to rest until he was the hero of the story, which he still is not yet the hero of the story. We'll talk about that a little bit later, of course. And Aleister, I thought, put on an amazing performance with Johnny Gargano TakeOver War Games 2, and recently in the Steel Cage match they had as well. Still say the match at War Games is still Aleister's best match in NXT by far. I gotta say, close, with his match with Velveteen Dream at the first War Games, which was of course awesome as well. I feel like this guy has great wrestling ability in the ring. His promo skills are not that bad. Also, he got to be NXT champion, and with booked right on the main roster, this guy is going to go far, and he's going to be a big star up on the main roster. Which is why, of course, with his championship run and his great storytelling in the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa feud as well, he got involved with. I gotta give the credit to Aleister Black and make him my number 8. So those 10 to 8 for both lists. Let's check the live chat so far and see who we've got. Let me see here. I think we were here where Dakota came in. What's up, Dakota? Barclays, I wish they hurry up and get this 4 horsewoman match together unless they change their minds, which I feel the build for that is going to start after WrestleMania 35. Yeah, I still think we're going to get that either maybe SummerSlam, Evolution, or Survivor Series in 2019. We will get the 4 horsewoman match, I feel. Bianca Belair, Toni Storm, Pete Dunne, Ricochet are some of Mark's best. Dakota's bests are AJ Styles, Johnny Gargano, Cedric Alexander, and Tommaso Ciampa. Also, Velveteen Dream was mentioned as well by Mark Johnson. Tia Coupon mentions Ciampa. Seth Rollins is best with Dakota. Elite Squad, what's up? Shayna and Kyrie must be on the list, he says. Is this just WWE based? Yeah, WWE and NXT. Jay, what's up, Jay, as well? And NXT UK. All 5 brushes for WWE NXT. Mustafa Ali. Do I need water? I'm all right now, but thank you, though. Number 1 has to be Brock Lesnar for Mike. Tell me you're being sarcastic, Dakota, there. We all know that's not going to happen. He's not going to make this on the list. Styles the best. Bianca does have a bright future. I agree. Jeff Hardy is the best purebred babyface, which is kind of true there. Orton is a better heel for sure. Orton using the screwdriver on Hardy. Yeah, definitely. That was definitely a big moment for the year. Best since 2018 for Elite Squad is AJ Styles, Ciampa, Gargano, Black, Elias. Not a bad pick there. Seth Rollins, Velveteen Dream, Miz, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. Pretty good list. Adam Cole, baby, is an honorable mention for my list, I gotta say. And of course, we got all the Fickles going. Yeah, Crown Jewel is thumbs down for sure, and the people in Saudi Arabia are fickle for sure. I agree. Jay's list is Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, Buddy Murphy. That's a good honorable mention for mine as well. Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano, which I think is an awesome list. Good job there, Jay. Dakota's list. Braun Strowman, Adam Cole, Aleister Black, The Miz, Rusev, Ciampa, Gargano, McIntyre, Rollins, and AJ Styles. That's a great list as well. Dakota. Let's see here. Can you name more of a purebred babyface than Jeff Hardy? I mean, it's tough to because, who else besides Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy have never been heel in their entire career? Can't quite answer that one, actually. That's a very tough one, though. Pete Dunne should be close to 600 days as champion. For sure, he is closing on that TN couponer. But let's get back to the list. Of course, we'll do now 7 to 5 for both my lists. So start off with the women. Number 7, Toni Storm. Now, Toni Storm, had a great performance as well in the 2017 Mae Young Classic. I can't remember if I got to the quarterfinals or even the final 4, but I saw her and I thought that she had shown a ton of potential. And I knew, like Rhea Ripley and several others, I saw this one was going to be a big star. Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, Deonna Purrazzo, of course, also someone who I've really gotten invested in. And just so many others. Of course, Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler through the Mae Young Classic. But Toni Storm, I knew she was good. Of course, there's one match that was my second best women's match of the year this year. Again, it was a very close between that and the last woman standing match that were for my best women's match of the year. But her match, again, Toni Storm's match with Meiko Satomura is what drew my eyes even bigger for Toni Storm, as she put on an unreal performance. As Meiko Satomura showed why she is, a veteran, but known to be a legend at like 38 years old. And Toni Storm, who's only 22 years old, had probably the performance of her career in this match as well. She's a great wrestler. She's a likable baby face for sure. I can see her maybe being heel one day. I mean, I feel like one day she can pull off a heel character also. I think right now her being a baby face is completely fine because she's got the momentum going behind her and whatnot. But she has a ton of potential, and of course she won the Mae Young Classic, and of course she's involved in the feud with Rhea Ripley right now too for the NXT UK Women's Championship. So a great start definitely for her in NXT UK. Someday, I'm not even joking when I say this, even me with Rhea Ripley, I can see Toni Storm one day main eventing a WrestleMania. I would like to see it happen someday. Toni Storm in the main event of WrestleMania. I think she's got the potential to do it. But she is my number 7. My number 6 for my women's wrestlers of the year is Kairi Sane. Now, Kairi Sane, until the end of the year, was more so being involved in some, background, non-women's title feuds, such as with, Lacey Evans, some matches with the Iconics, I believe, also. A few others here and there. And yes, I will be honest, say I kind of set my expectations a little too high for Kairi Sane, thinking they were going to book her as the next Asuka. Well, they haven't, which is fine with me, because not everyone can be undefeated and make winning feel special like Asuka did. Obviously, the Kairi Sane came in shortly after it was Shayna Baszler. And Kairi, for a while, again, like I said, was having matches with the likes of Lacey Evans. I won't say Lacey Lane, but she was, someone else in the Mae Young Classic this year that I would like, that I'm watching out for to see when she gets her opportunities in NXT as well. But Lacey Evans, she had a few with, wasn't too bad. She had a few other matches throughout the year as well. She's a great in-ring talent. She had a run of the championship. It wasn't that long, but it led to a good match that introduced the Horsewoman as well, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir at Evolution. Of course, she had two of the best women's matches of the year with their match at Takeover Brooklyn 4, and of course one of my favorites at the 2 out of 3 Falls match at Takeover War Games 2. She's a very talented wrestler. Obviously, I want to see her have a match with Asuka or even her best friend in real life, Io Shirai as well. And I think she can definitely go places as well, which is why she is my number 6 on my list. Kairi Sane. Number 5 is Ronda Rousey. Of course, Ronda Rousey was one of the big stories of the year, coming into WWE after the Royal Rumble. The Women's Royal Rumble match, she came in. Obviously, it was revealed that, Stephanie and Triple H were going to be setting up for, payback after what she did to them at WrestleMania 31. Joined forces with Kurt Angle. She had a great, one of the better matches, either that or the SmackDown Women's title match at WrestleMania 34. Again, to me, was match of the night, as it showed that Ronda belonged here. She wasn't just some, random person they just grabbed off the street. No. She was honing the craft. And yes, at first beginning, her microphone skills weren't too good. But again, to me, I felt that they played it perfectly into the storyline of, Ronda Rousey needs to prove to us at WrestleMania that this is where she belongs. And yes, she kind of got involved with the title picture too soon. But the story I felt, was just, what it needed to do. Nia Jax wanted to give Ronda an opportunity to make a big name for herself. Of course, when Alexa Bliss got involved with the briefcase, and then, Alexa and Ronda eventually had a feud where Ronda won the championship. And then, of course, recently, Ronda had another match with Nia Jax, which, was a solid match, but showed that she carried it. A rookie, she was in mixed martial arts, but, of course, as well, she, was not really, trained as well with, choreographed, sparring. Or as Simon Gotch called it, a fake fight and whatnot, and tell stories that way. But I felt, she's got better. Her promo skills got better. And, she's proven she had a good match. So I wouldn't say she's had a great year, but a good year. Her competition, of course, is increasing. She's having, her feud with, Becky Lynch and Charlotte's going on. She had, of course, a match with Natalya recently as well. So I want to see her have a match with, Sasha Banks or Bayley or even Asuka. The talent, and of course, against any of her horsewoman's sisters. And of course, the 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewoman match. So I gotta give Ronda credit and say, I felt, sometimes in competition, I just think, she definitely, showed that, she can hang in here with, the women we got here. So with that being said, that's why Ronda Rousey is my number 5 on my list for top 10 women's wrestlers. So let's move on to 7 to 5 from the men. My number 7 is Pete Dunne. Needless I say, Pete Dunne, of course, is part of a brand that is just a lot more focused on the wrestling. Yes, there's some character, development with Pete Dunne, but, it's obvious that he's just about going out there and putting on solid wrestling matches to show that he really is the best. And him having over 500, nearly 600-day title reign is showing that, it's true. And it doesn't feel like, just some random guy holding on to the title, Brock Lesnar. But so this guy, deserves to be where he's at. I cannot tell you how many NXT UK championship matches he's had since NXT UK started. He defended the belt several times also on NXT as well this year against the likes of, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, I think with Tyler Bate this year, Johnny Gargano, Jordan Devlin, Danny Burch, Noam Dar, probably soon Joe Coffey. If I didn't say so, Jordan Devlin, he had a great match as well. The guy is just always able to put on great matches, and he kind of got inserted into, a little bit of a feud with the Undisputed Era after Roderick Strong turned on him in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals, joining Undisputed Era and kind of turning Pete Dunne more of a babyface, which, kind of more of a babyface because, he puts on good matches. Yeah, I still feel as a character-wise, he's better as a heel. But gotta give him the credit again, with what he's all done with them, the UK championship. And to me, I definitely see world champion potential in him for sure. So Pete Dunne is my number 7 on my list. Number 6. Now, a lot of you, of course, are probably going to be wondering, are not going to be happy with the fact that I put this guy this down low on this list. But my number 6 is AJ Styles. AJ Styles, to me, had a good year. But to me, he did what he always does. And, he was able to put up, solid performances against the likes of, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. the six-pack challenge match at a Fastlane. His feud with Nakamura could have been better. The matches could have been better. But I still think they put on their best match for sure to me was the last man standing match at Money in the Bank. Of course, the best part was the feud with Samoa Joe. When Samoa Joe was you always try to attack the weaknesses of people verbally. Was just targeting AJ and his family, trying to get into AJ's head. AJ still put on some great matches against him as well. And of course, now he just recently got involved in the feud with Daniel Bryan, based off of Daniel Bryan winning a match at Super Showdown, qualifying for a title match. He lost the opportunity, but Bryan pushed him over the edge. He has another opportunity. He turns heel to beat him to reclaim his title. Even though it felt like at times that his title run was starting to get a little stale and felt like it was time to give it to someone else. Give the guy credit. He just did his job as champion. He defended the title as often as possible. He won matches. And he just puts up performances to a point that now I feel that, if they want to put a title on him again, cool. But if not, it won't hurt his career if they don't put the title on him anymore. Because he's at a point where he's like Shawn Michaels. He needs to be there to put on some excellent matches. And I feel that's exactly what is in his repertoire as well. Again, it's Phil, we got a great year out of him. But, of course, I still feel, his 2016 or even his 2017 was his best year, I feel. This has been great, but being kind of his weakest year, I got to say. Props to AJ Styles again for always being phenomenal at 41 years old also as well. That's why he's my number 6 on this list. Number 5, the one and only Ricochet. Ricochet, of course, was a big name that people kept telling me, yeah, this guy's coming to NXT. He's a big name. He is a very talented man. You're going to love what you see. And they weren't denying. He came in, the first thing he was involved with was the 6-man ladder match. Again, probably one of the top 5 or top 3 match of the year candidate. That ladder match at TakeOver New Orleans really showcased all these talents. And Ricochet, of course, done some stuff with his flips and whatnot and showed the potential he had. But he didn't really go all out yet. If you with Velveteen Dream, the whole thing with anything you could do, I could do better. Ricochet did a freaking 450 spin. Jumping over the top rope and landing in front of Velveteen Dream on the metal steel ramp and whatnot. It was just one of the things. It was like, holy crap! This guy really does mean business when he's talking to a guy like Velveteen Dream who has all the credentials to back himself up as well. Match Velveteen Dream was great, but I still feel a lot of people feel too the best match that Ricochet had this year, by far, was the match with Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 for North American Championship. As both these guys just went all out in this match. This is a pure Ricochet match. This is a pure Adam Cole baby match as well. He's had a run North American title. He's had matches, a match with Pete Dunne, a triple threat with Pete Dunne and Adam Cole. He was involved in the War Games match where he did a 630 double moonsault off of the top of the cage, and he's had a recent good match with Tyler Breeze. Now it looks like Johnny Gargano may be going after him next for the NXT North American Championship, which would definitely be very interesting, definitely to see with the storylines going on with him and Tommaso Ciampa as well. But yeah, he's an amazing talent. Hopefully he doesn't get ruined against the main roster, but this guy is definitely going to be something big if they book him right. And of course, the appreciation he has for all the flips and stuff that he can do as well. So my number 5 on this list is Ricochet. Let's check the live chat once again and see what we've got here. I believe we were right here. Donna's been champion for 588 days. Wow. Those are the top 2. Even Cena has been heel pretty much. Yeah, I knew that. Mandy Rose, they have big plans for her in 2019, which is awesome for sure. EC3 is the best for Mark. Not bad for EC3, but I still say there's more and there's more for him to be exposed. Apollo Crews won a battle royal to challenge Dean for the IC title. When was that? I don't know when that happened. Io Shirai, definitely an upcoming star. Dakota Kai, I think so too. Keith Lee's upcoming as well. Matt Riddle, upcoming stars as well, without bad opinions. Jay's opinion for women is number 10 is Dakota Kai. Number 9 is Nikki Cross. Number 8 is Mako Satomura. Number 7 is Rhea Ripley. 6 is Shayna Baszler. 5 is Toni Storm. 4 is Ronda Rousey. 3 is Kairi Sane. 2 is Io Shirai. And 1 is the man herself, Becky Lynch. McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler on bad picks as well. And Wendy, of course, for Samoa Joe. AJ's reign was underappreciated. They only gave him one pay-per-view main event. That was against Jinder Mahal, out of all people. Well, that was, of course, the main event for Clash of Champions. But the last time he main evented a pay-per-view was the 6-pack challenge at Fastlane. I agree that he could have gotten a main event spot. How many times? Enjoy Ricochet, especially in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. 2 main events I meant. Sorry, I forgot about Fastlane. No worries, Jay. Jay, could you see Styles' title reign this year be compared to CM Punk's title reign? I kind of see it in some ways. Yeah, of course, they didn't have to turn him heel, though, like they did with Punk. But, it was still, worth it for what it was. Dakota's best females are Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, Toni Storm, Bayley, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Flair. He said number 1. I guess must be a strange list. Punk carried the company on his back while AJ was pushed to the side for people like Lesnar, Roman, and Rollins. Some of a point there, but yeah, it was still, definitely still a great run. At a live event, they're going to start having pinfalls in battle royales. What? That's weird. He meant Becky. Yeah, number 1. Yeah, for sure, Becky number 1. But we'll see that's number 1 on my list as well. But now for 4 to 2 now. So number 4 for the women, again, despite the fact that she also got a lot of big opportunities at times that she didn't quite earn. Again, she went away for about 6 weeks to get, a boob fixed. But came back and immediately gets a title opportunity after she was knocked in the back of the line before she took off for a few weeks. But Charlotte. So give her credit, despite the fact that, they were trying to book her as the big hero and Becky as the villain and whatnot. And of course, a couple other times where, she was getting opportunities. I was like, okay, how did she deserve this? But none of these other women are getting it as well. But so I give her credit that Charlotte is still a phenomenal wrestler. And when she's given the right character and stuff to say, she is fire. Especially, of course, ever since she did her actions. She did it on Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Just snapping with the kendo stick and just beating her down with the kendo stick and chairs. Obviously, again, setting up her plans to come as what I feel is going to happen is Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte in a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 35 in the main event. Obviously, Becky still wants to have that match with Ronda. Charlotte, though, she has unfinished business, and I still don't think, there's nothing bigger than having the triple threat at WrestleMania 35, in my opinion. She's a great talent. She's a gymnast or whatever the heck she did. She's flexible. She's tall. She's attractive. She won. She had 2 title reigns this year as well. Of course, Carmella cashed it on her, and she had a terrible match with Carmella and a Backlash, but we can forget about that. Still got all respect for her, and she is still my number 4 for my top 10 women of 2018. Number 3, in my opinion, despite the fact this woman never won a championship, she was one of the most established women's characters, I gotta say. Besides, of course, the 2 before it. But my number 3 is Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross started off the year, she was kind of like, hovering around the title picture. But she's just recently become more of a baby face as well, ever since, of course, Sandy kind of turned babyface until they came to the main roster. But Nikki developed like this crazy, hilarious character people could get behind and, make her much of a hero. The spot she shined, of course, the most, well, first, she did get a championship opportunity against Shayna Baszler coming out and pretty much, one opportunity, and the whole phrase of, come play, let's play, Shayna, let's play, Becky. Or, of course, whenever you see her promo for her coming up to the main roster, she says, come play with Nucky. It's supposed to say Nikki, but someone should say Nucky, probably does her Scottish accent. But, that, and of course, her feud there with Shayna again is just the sad fact that, hey, Nikki Cross loves pain. Even when she'll pass out to it, she still just loves it and still comes out like a winner because, she got what she wanted. Of course, she's had another fair share of matches. Of course, also she got involved with, knowing who it was with Aleister Black. Whole thing like, I know. And the crowd chanting, Nikki's got a secret. Nikki's got a secret. I mean, her in-ring ability is still not bad at all, but storytelling, I feel like, of all the women, she was someone who I felt was spot on fire with that aspect, with where it came from, which is why, of course, my number 3 on this list is Nikki Cross. That's my number 3 for Women's Wrestler of the Year. Gets number 2, then do 4 to 2 from the men, and then do each of my number 1s. But my number 2 for Women's Wrestler of the Year is Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, I'll be honest and say, isn't, the biggest high flyer. She's not like, gonna put on, all these 5-star classics 24/7. But boy, is she vicious. Like, I immediately felt that she was something big. Her first night in NXT, not just when she came out and choked out Kairi Sane, but her first match against Dakota Kai. Literally, that moment I still remember, stomping on Dakota's arm, and it looked like she legitimately did hurt Dakota's arm. It was cringeworthy, but a good cringeworthy to watch. She was involved in the feud, of course, with, Ember Moon, just showing that, hey, when you're new around here and you want to make a stand for yourself, you got to play with the big fish. And that's exactly what she did with Ember Moon. Now, of course, Ember snuck in, a quick, roll-up victory over Shayna Baszler to win, to retain her championship. Of course, Baszler was not done with her there as she did attack her. Unfortunately, she put talent on the line again. She beat Ember Moon for the Women's Championship, and of course, she feuded with Nikki Cross. Kairi Sane, dropped title to Kairi Sane. She won it back, but of course she had help from Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. And now she's getting ready to face Bianca Belair. She's the first ever 2-time NXT Women's Champion. I mean, she basically sells that simple story of like, she's the big bully around, and she feels she can do whatever she wants, come late, just talk and push around whoever she wants to do. And it's a great, heat magnet, of course, to get the heat on her and, be able to make her look like a true villain as well. So that's why Shayna Baszler is my number 2 for the men. Number 4 is the Velveteen Dream. Now, Velveteen, of course, at takeovers this year, went 2-3. He won his first takeover match with Cassius Ohno this year, takeover Philadelphia. Takeover New Orleans, he came up short in the ladder match. Takeover Chicago, he lost to Ricochet, but it was still an amazing match. I put him over. Takeover Brooklyn 4, he defeated EC3, which I felt, he could have used a win more than EC3 at the time. And he had, to me, a match of the year candidate with Tommaso Ciampa. Velveteen Dream just literally possesses, everything you look for in a huge superstar. He's a great wrestler. He's got a great wrestling style. He comes across as confident with, his poses and whatnot, and the way he presents himself as well. He tries to, of course, do parodies of Hulk Hogan, which aren't interesting, but, he knows how to grab the crowd's attention. As to me, I feel he's not a complete babyface, but he's slowly been more changing more towards a babyface. I felt like for the most part, he was still kind of like a tweener. He did some heel tactics, but also I just admired about Velveteen Dream's character is the fact that, he even acknowledges the crowd, whenever the crowd is behind him. And he takes that and he says something about it, which, makes things feel even more realistic. His wrestling ability, of course, is awesome in the ring, and he's just a bigger man who wrestles like a cruiserweight. I love all the matches he's always been involved in. I mean, again, the match is my favorite match is either a match with Aleister Black or his match with the Velveteen Dream for sure. But this guy, of course, is beyond ready for the main roster. I think we'll see him there in 2019. Hopefully tearing up and being booked great on the main roster as well. So that's why Velveteen Dream is my number 4. My number 3 on my list is the best main roster superstar, well, for the men at least, in my opinion, and that is Seth freaking Rollins. So Seth Rollins, earlier this year was still kind of part of the tag team division as, Dean Ambrose just went down the injury. Jason Jordan replaced him. And then once Jordan got hurt, Seth Rollins wants to start to focus on himself again and becoming Monday Night Rollins once more. And, of course, he got a lot of that momentum by pinning both John Cena and Roman Reigns clean in a gauntlet match. That just lit the fire for him. From there, he would go on to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania off The Miz, have a match of the year candidate against The Miz at Backlash. He had a few of the lives, which wasn't bad, with Dolph Ziggler, which he put on great performances there as well, showing that they had great chemistry, although they kind of overdid the match a little bit. He was part of a great tag team match at Hell in a Cell with Dean Ambrose taking on Ziggler and McIntyre, which was, again, another, tag title match of the year candidate for sure for me. Gosh, what else he do? Of course, now he's involved with Dean Ambrose feud, which, it's kind of been a little slow. And, the match they had at TLC was not too good, let's put it that way. It was kind of flat. But Seth Rollins showed that when given the right material, he can definitely be one of the best in the business. And, the story last year with him, trying to, right his wrongs and whatnot, kind of fell off flat a little bit. But then this year, I felt like he just really picked up the momentum again and when Roman Reigns went on to leukemia, I feel like he really has become the man on Monday Night Raw and one of the best superstars I'm sure we have. Of course, my dream match for him still is a match with AJ Styles. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably get that match in the next couple of years for sure, even if it's, a cross-promotion match. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. But amazing year, took big steps, could take even bigger steps in 2019. But my number 3 pick is Seth Rollins. Number 2 for men. 1 and 2 were tough. 1 and 2 were absolutely so tough to pick because both these superstars have been involved with a feud this entire year. But I looked at it more so, even though, one had 5 classic matches at takeovers. The other one I felt, put on great matches as well, but also produced more results. As my number 2 is someone who at this point has failed his mission and has become what he despises most. But that's why my number 2 will be Johnny Gargano. The year he has had with, trying to push, Tommaso Ciampa out of his memory, but kept coming back then with the torture from Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. He had the match with Almas at Tigger in Philadelphia, another match of the year candidate. Came up short, but he lost clean, but showed how much of a badass he was just for Ciampa to return. Eventually cost him another match again that would then, send him home and lose his job. But of course, Gargano was not done dealing with, Ciampa until, he got his hands on him. He did everything he could. They brawled in the ring. He tried to break into his house at 3:30 in the morning as well. But of course, Ciampa, just being the mastermind he is, took full advantage, spitting on Johnny's wedding ring and just set Johnny off, embracing that dark side. Johnny Gargano feeling he has to go another route to be the hero in the story, even if that means, beat down someone like Aleister Black who just got in his way. But so I give the guy credit. All 5 shows he had, wrestling matches he had, each of the 5 pay-per-views were just all just unreal. I still say the last man standing match is the weakest because it didn't possess too much new stuff from the Chicago street fight, but it was still an awesome match to show how great of a performer he is, as well as Tommaso Ciampa is as well, which we will get to him shortly. But let's check the live chat again for you to my number 1s. I believe we were. I could be right about Becky and Charlotte and Ronda at WrestleMania 35 for sure. If Lars goes to Raw, his opponents could be Brock Lesnar, Strowman, Reigns, and McIntyre goes to SmackDown. Joe, Orton, Rusev, Big Show, and John Cena, which wouldn't be bad matches for him. And Seth Rollins, of course. When it comes to Gargano and Ciampa, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Exactly. Mark thinks Roman is a best. Still think his Roman still think. I mean, I still thought Roman's booking, of course, was kind of hindered him, of course, which is why I didn't put him on the list. But that's, if you think so, Mark, that's great. Apparently, Vince changed me about Becky, which would suck. But he's saying it'll be Rollins and Lesnar. So at least if Rollins wins, it will be a big for him. Which up Sean Seals. Thanks for joining me. Now let's get back to numbers. My number ones. So far on my lists for the women, it's Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Toni Storm, Kairi Sane, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, Nikki Cross, and Shayna Baszler. That's 10-2. For the men's, 10-2. Orton, Bryan, Black, Dunn, Styles, Ricochet, Dream, Rollins, and Gargano. So who could possibly be my number ones? For women, there's no doubt about it. The number one women's wrestler of 2018 is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch started off this year after being in a 2-year drought of just like barely getting anywhere close. She finally starts racking up the wins. She gets into the Money in the Bank ladder match, where she just comes up a little short due to just some nasty bumps that she took in that match that really showed that, the women can definitely play it unsafe and still put on an awesome and safe match. Becky was winning. She earned an opportunity for the Women's Championship at SummerSlam against Carmella, but then, of course, like I said before, Charlotte Flair just came out of nowhere and just got her title opportunity again. How? Who knows? Becky got tired of it after Charlotte stole Becky's spotlight from a night that should have been her night. She beat down on Charlotte. Yes, they tried to book her as a heel at first, but then they kind of started to back off. Yes, they put some heel tactics in her here and there, but you just cannot deny how great of a badass Becky Lynch is on the microphone, and in the ring, she's just savage, calling Charlotte the bitch, just attacking other people in different ways, just, looking so confident. And yes, of course, get here and there. She's been booked as a typical cowardly heel, like here and there, but it's not that often. Literally, as I always say, as long as you keep, having just acknowledging the crowd and just speaking the truth, that's all we care about. That's all, and that's going to make us, tolerate the run, of course. But trying to make her a heel was not a great idea. But of course, she had the feud with Charlotte, winning at Hell in a Cell. And of course, she also won that great women's match of the year, the SmackDown Live Women's Championship last women's stand matches was unreal. She did drop the title to Asuka at TLC, but it was still a great match that they had. Of course, she was supposed to face Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series, but they had to change it due to Nia Jax breaking Becky's face. Huh? Of course, at TLC, we had Becky beat up Nia backstage to get her comeuppance. But just a great story going from someone who was just trying to find opportunities, someone who's getting all the opportunities she's deserved, and just literally just salvaging all the moments. Which is why my number one for the women is Becky Lynch. My number one for the men, Tommaso Ciampa. Now, I know Johnny Gargano had 5 classics, but again, I was looking for this more so of the results. Tommaso Ciampa is a master with the mind. Coming back at TakeOver Philadelphia, attacking Johnny Gargano with a crutch. And of course, we'd been waiting for months to see those two collide ever since Ciampa suffered the knee injury on an episode on an NXT live event and capitalizing with the heel turn at TakeOver Chicago 1. He of course costed Johnny his career versus title match on NXT. Leading to Ciampa kind of trying to explain himself, but the crowd would just not let him. They just booed the heck out of him until, of course, he finally eventually got a theme song, "No One Will Survive," which is unreal. Yes, he lost back to Johnny Gargano, but it was like, okay, you're back on your job, but you really think I'm going to go away? No. So he can't just, attack him, taking the wedding ring, the spin on this, just playing the pure mind games, and the guy is getting results. And, he's got results for so long, that's whenever he finally, fails, it's going to feel like something special. He won the NXT Championship after winning the match with Johnny Gargano at TakeOver Chicago 2. It was supposed to be a triple threat, but again, Aleister Black had to have surgery, so it was just Gargano and Ciampa. And not a bad, but, could have been better, the last man standing match that I just felt, this was, a I kind of a repeat we got from the Chicago Street Fight, but it was still excellent. To him, just feud with the Velveteen Dream. Again, the guy he's going microphone. He's great in the ring. Yes, he's not the biggest high flyer, whatnot, but he knows how to tell stories. And he's a heel. He's had the results, but he will not begin those results thanks to Johnny Gargano finally getting back at him and getting the thing he wants to be, is the hero and the NXT championship. And that, guys, is my list. So let me read off one more time to the live chat that I'm going to bed because I'm super duper tired. I'll throw my schedule, of course, for the rest of this week, rest of the year, of course. So for female, we got Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Toni Storm, Kairi Sane, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, Nikki Cross, Shayna Baszler, and Becky Lynch. For the men, it's Orton, Bryan, Black, Dunn, Styles, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Rollins, Gargano, and Ciampa. That, guys, is my list for the top 10 wrestlers of the year for both men and women. Check the live chat one more time because I'm getting tired and I want to go to bed. I think we were right here. Let's see here. You didn't have McIntyre. He was not pinned till Ziggler, which that's for sure. He's definitely a good honorable mention. What bet he comes out to Stone Cold Steam Songs to be awesome. I just noticed you got a ladder and a table on your Christmas tree. I have that and a chair also on the corner. My parents got me for Christmas one year. They could book Ember a lot better for sure, Mark. The Evolution DVD is a Walmart exclusive. Nice. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you there. I find it funny how Vince lets some of these wrestlers go, but he sees how good they are doing on the promotions. All of a sudden, he wants them back because, he realized he got screwed. And, of course, his ego gets to him. And the fact that, this is where the big leagues belong, so this is where you should be. But, nope. Cody Rhodes is not going to go back to WWE. He's not. I don't blame him at all whatsoever. So several others are going to even come there. Exactly. That's a good point for sure. You doing anything tomorrow on here, which is especially on the live chat. I'll get to it. Tomorrow I will do here's what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to do a stream tomorrow night. I have to work, then I'm meeting a friend for dinner, and then I'll be free the rest of the night. So I'm going to do my here's what I'm going to do. So tomorrow is going to be, so for the rest so my last few videos is going to be streams. I was going to do more of my video game stuff, but again, I've just had a really busy and chaotic holiday this year. Just a lot going on. So I kind of just wanted to sit back and just relax. So my video game stuff, I'm going to take a break from until the new year. Tomorrow, though, I have to work in the afternoon. I will be, doing a couple things afterwards and then going to dinner. And then I will be home for the rest of the night. So tomorrow I will do my top 10 favorite and least favorite moments, like my personal favorites and personal least favorite moments from 2018. Sunday afternoon, sometime Sunday afternoon, I will do my, it doesn't not be a top 10, but just talk about some of my bold predictions I got for 2019 for WWE. 8 o'clock Sunday night on my friend Daniel Geis's channel, myself, Dan, and Robbie will be doing our WWE End of the Year Awards video, which will be an awesome 24 category video. Again, we do it we've done it since every year since 2015. I've done it every 4 years. We've had people come in and out of it, but again, it's just an awesome video. I recommend checking that out. And then Monday is going to be the end of the year /1000 subscriber Q&A / channel wrap up video. I'll probably doing a live review of the Raw highlights that I probably won't catch. So I'll be hanging out with my parents on New Year's Eve, and that's probably going to close the book on 2018. So that's my plan for the rest of the weekend there. Cody said he would come back eventually. Maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, that's planned for the rest of the year for the last 72 hours. Again, tomorrow, I will do the my top 10 favorite and least favorite moments of 2018. It's more not so much as but top 10 of what I think was the best. What were my favorite moments from this year. It could be a personal moment, like something I attended, or it could be you noticed something else, like a match, segment, you name it all. But yeah, guys, what are your thoughts again? Who are your best superstars or wrestlers of 2018 in WWE? Leave us down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to click my like and subscribe more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, TheMayor93. And guys, thank y'all again for joining me live. But I'm tired and I can get ready to go to bed. I have to go to work tomorrow. So with that, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow night for one of the last streams of the year. Again, to stay tuned for everything else coming on my channel. Again, I will get back to the video game stuff more likely, unless I really feel like doing it one of the next couple days, but I'll get back to the video game stuff when the new year comes. So until then, guys, have a rest of your night. Good night, and peace out, everybody.